Hello and welcome to episode 544 of the Grit2Greatness Endurance Podcast. Yes, it is ladies here taking over the mic. We are your hosts, coaches April Spildy and Lauren Brown, and we are on a mission to help endurance athletes train smarter, race stronger, and build the grit it takes to achieve greatness.
Yes, I love ladies' night. Yes. And if you've spent more than 5 minutes on endurance social media lately, you've probably seen people pushing sleds, carrying sandbags, and collapsing after wall balls. HYROX is exploding right now, and a lot of athletes are wondering whether it's just another fitness trend or something worth paying attention to. So today, we're breaking down exactly what HYROX is, why it's growing so fast, and whether endurance athletes should consider giving it a shot.
Yes, I am excited to jump into this conversation. I'm uber curious about HYROX. I can't wait to hear about your experiences so far, Lauren, and what's awaiting you. But let's do a couple of shout outs first to our Grit2Greatness athletes. We have Elizabeth Weiland. She is racing Ironman Boulder 70.3 in 2 weeks. We wanted to share this with her before the big race day. She just did her first Olympic distance race this last weekend, Lauren, and it was amazing. She looks so strong. She is so ready for her first half Ironman.
Oh, I can't wait to see how she does. And next, we're going to shout out Coach April, who also raced with Elizabeth last week and will be racing the Pikes Peak Apex mountain bike single day race on June 14th.
Yep. And then we have Caroline Young. She is racing tomorrow, the Colorado Triathlon. So we're sending you all of our love and hugs. Caroline, we know you've got this.
Yes. And then Jeff is racing Eagleman 70.3. That will be his first 70.3. And Arun is racing the Montauk Olympic Triathlon. Both of those are going to be next weekend as well.
Yeah. Can you say that it is officially race season here? We've got Chris Shothan, who is racing Best of the West tomorrow as well.
And it keeps on going. We got Mike Murphy racing a Dare to Try Leon Sprint Triathlon on June 6th. So tomorrow as well.
And then we have Coach KO's athletes, Anna Marie, Lucy, Sandy, Lindsay, and Coach KO herself. They're all taking on the Patriot Half Ironman on June 13th.
And then also her athlete, Joe, is racing Eagleman, right? I believe this is also Coach KO's athlete. And so Jeff and Joe are both racing Eagleman 70.3 as their first 70.3. We've got 3 first time, because Elizabeth is at her first,
yes.
You said, right? So we've got 3 first timers coming up next weekend on 70.3s. How freaking cool is that?
That is amazing. I didn't even think about that, Lauren. That is so cool. So we got 3 Grit2Greatness athletes taking on their first 70.3 on the same day.
Oh, awesome. I'm so excited. Everyone get your freaking trackers locked and loaded.
Yes, this is going to come fast. So get ready. All right. Speaking of Boulder 70.3, there are still a call for volunteers. Myself and Coach Rich are going to be in transition, and we would love to see your smiling faces out there. I will say that being a volunteer can be just as fun as being a participant, a racer, a spectator. It is such a great way to get a front row seat and have some skin in the action here. Speaking of skin in the action, they are looking for wetsuit peelers to volunteer. So we've got a link here in the show notes if you want to sign up to be a wetsuit peeler. That is one of the best jobs, I think. You get right in the game there, and can really help people get out of their own way by getting out of their wetsuit.
I love a wetsuit peeler. I'm always like, lie on my back, just take care of it.
Yes, thank you for taking care of this thing that I don't have to. Exactly.
Yeah, so cool. All right, well, that leads us to the main topic of conversation on HYROX. So I'm really excited to talk about this. So I will be racing my first HYROX this Sunday, June 7th. I will be doing the doubles. So I'm excited to talk about this. And we're going to dive into what it is and what makes it so special. So before we jump into it, just a little bit of background on what exactly is HYROX. It is a race. It was founded in Germany in 2017. It is a global fitness racing series. So something that's cool about HYROX, it's the same format every race worldwide, so you know exactly what you're getting into. It is designed to test both endurance and functional strength. And another beautiful thing about it is that it really is accessible to everyday athletes and elite competitors. I really think, you know, a lot of people can have skin in the game when it comes to HYROX. If you're not familiar with what the actual event entails, I'll break it down for you. So there's definitely a good amount of running. So I do think that this race does favor the runners. So I'm excited about that part since I definitely am a runner. It starts with a 1K run and then you move into your station. So each station is followed by another 1K of running. So you'll do 1,000 meter ski erg. I'll go through the stations, right? So it's a 1,000 meter ski erg. You've got your sled push, your sled pull, burpee, broad jumps. You have your 1,000 meter rower, farmer carry, sandbag lunges, and then you do 100 wall balls. So each station is separated by that additional 1K run, which totals, so the total race is 8K running and 8 functional fitness stations. So it is a hell of a lot going on, and it just looks like an amazing time.
Yeah, my eyes are the size of wall balls right now just looking at that. Holy man.
Yeah.
So I love that this is accessible. I think as we break this down, we'll explain why that is a little bit more here. But let's talk about why it's growing so quickly. One, it has a clear and repeatable format, and it's easy to compare performances worldwide. That makes it more approachable than other functional fitness criteria, such as CrossFit, and less technical skill is required. But I would say that you got to get really good at these movements. So there is a lot of technical skill to get to the elite level, but you know what the format is, you know what to practice. And it appeals to runners, cyclists, triathletes, and gym athletes. It runs the gamut. It covers any type of athlete. And believe it or not, triathletes actually perform pretty well in HYROX events. So one of the things that I love is that most people can look at a HYROX workout and understand exactly what's happening.
Yes, and I think it's funny. I may have brought this up to you in the past, how there was, I wish I could remember the person who posted this, but it was a reel that gained so much traction, and he's probably doing it as, I guess, it's a clickbait where you're posting it to get people to be pissed off, because he was like, why triathletes basically like suck at HYROX, and everything he explained, people were just like, this reel ended up getting so much traction because people were like, you are so wrong, bro. Like, athletes are
Step aside.
like, right, like we are good, we can handle HYROX. But we'll talk a little bit about why HYROX is different from triathlon, but again, I think there's still quite a bit of carryover with the skills when it comes to HYROX. So if you're a triathlete who's like, should I do HYROX? What makes it different? So it is a controlled environment. So as a triathlete, we're used to, wind, rain, different terrain. So you can do a 70.3 distance half Ironman and have a million different variables that don't line up from race to race. With HYROX, controlled environment, it's indoors. I mean, most likely you're not dealing with equipment failures, right? It's all structured. The weather is not an issue. For a lot of triathletes, this might be a big perk that there's obviously no swimming. No swimming involved. Maybe they make it next time like a 800-meter swim or something like that. You do 100 meters. That would be a fun twist. You do 100-meter swim in between each thing. And then, when we look at triathlon, we do have to worry about the environment, the terrain, technical skills, which I think technical skills also come into play with HYROX. I might have more to share on that after Sunday and actually racing.
Mm-hmm.
With triathlon, especially longer sports, nutritional management, which is funny. So I was just watching today a YouTube video coach who was talking through, he actually like runs some of the HYROX events and has a CrossFit gym. And he was saying when it comes to even like hydration, he's like, I don't drink anything during the race. He's like, I don't even, he's like, it's a quick race. It could be under 60 minutes for some people. He's like, I don't even drink. I was like, oh,
Wow.
yeah. So there's water stations there, but he was saying, he's like, for some, I was like, you don't drink for an hour? That
Yeah,
seems crazy. So in triathlon, if you are not thinking about your hydration or your nutrition, you are setting yourself up for failure. I guess maybe in HYROX, it's not always a priority for everyone. I feel like I will beg to differ when I'm done. And then when it comes to equipment, HYROX, you just show up with your body, your sneakers, and you go. As a triathlete, you got to make
Mhm.
sure that all of your equipment is dialed in. So I'm feeling a lot less stressed about going into a HYROX race than triathlon. So there's that. But one thing to consider, which I thought this was a great question to kind of ponder, is which sport punishes poor pacing more? And I think it's equal, just totally different.
I agree. That's the same thought I had, Lauren, was like they're both equally important, but they're very different.
Yep. And I think we're used to running on tired legs, right? That's actually the
Mhm.
part of triathlon that you actually have to really train for. Well, I mean, you have to train for all of it, but you train for running on tired legs. But again, something in the videos that I've been watching and that have been popping up on my feed, it's like if you go out too hot in a HYROX and try to run that first K and go balls to the wall, like that last 1K run and then finishing
Mm.
with 100 wall balls, like having to do 100 squats really with the wall ball, your legs are toast. So I'm thinking I want to try to take like, I don't know, I'm trying to remember what I was thinking. If I was like 5 minutes for each K, like run somewhere at like maybe like an 8 minute per mile pace. I don't know. We'll see. That could be a terrible idea.
Girl, I can just taste the iron in my mouth right now from like the effort. You know, when you go so hard that it's like blood is in your
Yes.
mouth? Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I'm thinking of right now when I think of this.
Yep. Can't wait.
All right. So, why are endurance athletes surprisingly good at HYROX? Endurance athletes bring a few different tools to this kit. So, one, they have the aerobic capacity. They've got the capacity to handle an effort that requires um, skill, speed, and sustained movement throughout the entirety of the race. So, having that incredible engine to get you from start to finish at a high level, that's what an endurance athlete can bring, as well as the mental toughness. Riding that line of wanting to vomit.
We love
And
that.
yeah, we love that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that is definitely a level of grit and mental toughness to stay at that for an hour. And
Yeah.
then that pacing discipline, knowing what is the line and not going past it so that you are shortchanging yourself at the end. And
Mm-hmm.
the ability to suffer. That's definitely that is definitely within the endurance space. What can be at the detriment of endurance athletes if it's not trained or can cause a struggle is explosive strength. So your plyometrics, your ability to use those fast, explosive type 2 muscle fibers, all those need to be developed and worked. So learning how to do that and knowing how to execute and then switching between stations and running, right? All of
Mm-hmm.
plays a huge hand in being and then sled work. I listened to Nick Bear from BPN, and he's done a couple of HYROX, and this was one of the areas that he thought he had in the bag because he's a big muscular guy, but he didn't train it. So this was one of those stations that because he thought he was good, but he wasn't trained, he suffered.
Yeah.
So that is something that you absolutely need to be training for, are these different types of power, these different types of endurance that are going to demand different signals from your body. And then of course functional, right? Your ability to move from station to station without twisting an ankle,
Yeah.
without falling on your face, without pulling a muscle.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot going on here. So that functional strength endurance. And then of course, like we talked about transitioning from strength to running, that is a different style of training completely.
Yeah. And this kind of leads right into really what surprises first time HYROX athletes as far as like some of the stations go, and going right into the sled work, how you were mentioning. It's funny. So when I first started, even when I would do sled work before even considering HYROX, right? Because I would still sometimes do sled work, I would be more inclined to just push and have maybe like a micro bend in my elbows. And then looking at videos, it was like leaning into it almost more with your shoulders. And then again, I was watching a video and the guy was talking about how he actually keeps his arms straight, but then somebody else was like, that's basically like doing an overhead squat versus a back squat.
Mm,
It's a lot easier to
yeah.
do a back squat, right? Where just your legs are dealing with it rather than your shoulders and getting any extra taxing and just the strength from your legs. And so when I started pushing more with leaning into it with my shoulders as opposed to my arms out straight, I was like, huh, this is so much easier. It's not easy, but it was definitely easier for me. So I think really, especially if you're not used to sled pushes or wall balls or farmer carries, like looking into different techniques and trying them, because again, some people might be better with arms out in front of them versus leaning into it, maybe. And really, rather than going into your first HYROX with only trying like, I'm going to just push the sled this way, or I'm going to just carry the kettlebells a certain way, trying different methods and see what actually makes you stronger and makes you less fatigued. Because for me going into this, I'm like, I want to get through each station with as little fatigue as possible. Right. So I want to rest maybe before I'm feeling like, it feels like there's lactic acid in my, like, whatever you might be feeling, right? That it's like that you're just building and getting exhausted, like rest before you're it's almost like having nutrition before you're hungry, right? Rest before you're too taxed.
Mm.
So anyway, that's a little bit sidetracked, but I think for the sled, it can be a matter of changing your body position and realizing, oh, that actually made a big difference. With the wall balls, I watched a video where she was talking about like the wall ball is actually really a hip hinge movement. If you think about it, she's like, if you change your thought and think of it as a hip hinge, as opposed to just like tossing the ball up. So I think from my perspective with training has been looking at each exercise a little bit differently than my first knee-jerk reaction is to approach the exercises. And one thing I've been doing for like grip fatigue is something else that's come up. I've been doing, and I started doing this more for my swimming and for my shoulder mobility and just doing dead hangs. And then I realized after I've been doing dead hangs for a while, I'm like, oh, this is definitely going to help my farmer carry. Because I do a dead hang, I'll do like 2 to 3 sets of 1 minute and hang. And I know that's going to carry over to the farmer carry because I weigh more than 16 kilograms in each hand, right? So I think those are a few things to consider. And then how hard the running is going to feel. I know that's going to be different than running off the bike, but I don't know. I feel like we have a little bit of practice of running on dead legs. So I think one other thing that can be similar but different with triathlon is transitions. So we are transition heavy with triathlon in the sense that we practice it, but we have 2 transitions. This is going to be like 8 minimum, maybe 16. I'm trying to think of how it would work because you're transitioning to your 1K, transitioning back, transitioning to your 1K.
Yeah.
So it is a lot of transitions. So
You put it like that, that's pretty mind blowing too, right?
Yeah.
And that's where that mental toughness really comes in, because sticking through each one of these and just kind of chipping away at it strategically to the end, that is the mindset of endurance there. You got to on to the next, on to the next, on to the next, and chip away
Yeah.
versus looking
Yeah.
at it from the, oh my gosh, I got to do all of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, but I think, I think HYROX is great for anybody who, maybe is like a little bit more like ADD, like they want to switch and switch and switch. Like where that's why I even thought for me, when I first wanted to do triathlons, I'm like, this is great because it's not just running, it's not just swimming, it's not just biking, where I get like, well, and it's crazy. I'm like, I feel like I'm more excited to do a full distance Ironman than if I had to do a full like marathon. Even though I know it's just one leg of the Ironman, but there's still something about being like swim, bike, run that just feels mentally easier for me.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I will fully support that. I have done a couple of longer distance mountain bike races, and I'm
Mhm.
like, man, I wish this was a triathlon.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like, you need that little switch up,
Yes.
even if it's
Yeah,
longer.
it's hard. Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. All right, so who should try HYROX? We got a little list here. Of course, we talked a lot about triathletes, runners, cyclists, former athletes, fitness enthusiasts, and people intimidated by traditional endurance sports. I think this is a great gateway into endurance through strength,
Yeah.
which is what I love about this too. I'm sure there might be people who roll their eyes at this, but HYROX is definitely built for the hybrid athlete.
Yes.
And what that means is the ability to have competitiveness at both ends of the spectrum. And I think HYROX blends that beautifully.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's important to do both. That's why when people even ask, should I do strength training? Should I do cardio? Even just from a general fitness perspective, I'm always like, well, your heart's your most important muscle. You want to work on your heart, which granted you can do with strength training, but I think it's, it really is a huge test of overall fitness because April, you and I both preach pretty hardcore the importance of strength training for triathletes. Like both of us with our athletes and probably with anyone who will listen to us, we're like, you need to have strength training in your program. And this is a great way to enter a race that's going to really push you to incorporate strength training, functional fitness, whatever you want to call it, into your regular program.
Yes, I love that. We are staunch believers in the power of strength. And I would go so far to say that strength should be prioritized and never be out of your programming, regardless of whether or not you do triathlon. And I know Lauren's shaking her head also. But this is, again, a great way to sit in that sweet spot between endurance and functional fitness and get you a taste of something new.
Yes. I love it.
All right. Lauren, this is the part where we're going to ask you some questions about your upcoming HYROX, which I can't wait to learn a little bit more and hear what you're thinking and how you're planning. But you are taking on your first HYROX doubles event, and I would love to know a little bit more about your journey and how this came to be. So, what made you decide to sign up?
So, my friend Kathy, who I actually raced world championships with in Marbella, and we did another 70.3 together. So, we've done a couple of races together in the triathlon world. She reached out to me because her anticipated partner, I think she tore her Achilles. She had something happen where she just could not train. And she reached out to me and was like, would you want to do HYROX with me? And I was like, oh, my knee-jerk reaction was like, hell yeah. And then I was like, wait, how far out is it from Lake Placid? Because I was like, it's 6 weeks out. So I was like, I will. I'm like, let me just run it by my coach and make sure he doesn't think I'm being completely crazy. And I was not. And so, yeah, so she asked me and I'm like, I have a hard time saying no to doing a new challenge. And I've been intrigued by it because it is kind of up my alley in terms of the way I train and my strengths. So I was asked, and it was an offer I couldn't refuse.
So what I'm hearing is you and Kathy are going to take on doubles. Can you talk about how that works?
So you basically, every 1K that you do, I don't remember the exact distance. We're just going to run side by side. We're both similar in our pacing anyway. So you have to stay within a certain distance of your partner for the 1K run. And then you basically split up the stations however you want. I mean, there are certain rules, right? So like with the sandbag, walking lunges, like the sandbag can't touch the ground. When you're doing the skier, the handles need to touch before your partner grabs them. But you can really like play to each other's strengths and split it 50-50. Or if one of you is stronger, or if one of you needs a longer rest, you can rest. So you're basically partnering up and splitting the distances that are mandated for the doubles race.
Excellent. And I would love for you to share with the audience kind of like your partner, Kathy. Tell me, if I were to look at a picture of you two, what am I seeing?
We
What am
are
I
like
seeing,
twins.
Lauren?
We are like Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger, me being Danny DeVito. So for those of you who don't know or haven't heard me talk about I'm 5 feet tall. I'm a solid 5 feet tall. And Kathy, I want to say she's somewhere between like 5'10" and 6 feet tall. She maybe 6 feet tall. We are drastically different, and we have matching outfits, and we are going to look like mother and daughter, or I don't know, but so I like that when we did the Tough Man 70.3 last year, we took a picture and I'm standing on a bench and we're like the same height.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it's going to be fun. We're going to look great.
I can't wait to see the photos. I can't wait to see you two in action. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. There's going to have to be something with like me sitting on her shoulder or something.
Well, we are hearing Kathy has a height advantage here. What strengths does Kathy bring that complement yours?
So I mean, we haven't trained together for this. I know she's done a couple of like HYROX, like specific classes or training, whatever. But my guess is going to be the wall ball might be a little bit more friendly for her because she's going to be closer to the target no matter what.
Yeah.
And honestly, on the skier and the rower, she'll have a little bit of advantage because of her reach. I tend to be a little bit stronger on the run, but that's kind of negligible because we're going to run together. So I think I'll probably carry my weight still on the sled push and pull because that's not going to be as much of a height dependent area. And I feel pretty good with the pull and the push. I feel good with the farmer carry. And again, that's like, even though she's taller, I don't think her walking stride is going to be that much of an advantage because grip strength also comes into play there. And like I said, I've been doing my dead hangs like very regularly for the last couple months now, just again, as part of my training anyway. So those three though, wall ball, skier, and rower, because of her height, we'll probably keep an eye on, does it make sense for like us to do 250, or is it 300, 200, 300, 200 when we're splitting it up to get to the 1,000 meters? Mm-hmm. So she's been really great with sending a lot of videos with technique of how to pass the sandbag to each other or the kettlebells on the farmer carry. But again, we haven't been able to practice it in person, but I'll get to her house tomorrow. We're going to have a sleepover and talk all game planning the night before.
An adult sleepover talking about HYROX. Yes.
That's it. That's what we do.
And don't let audience, I need you to know, yes, Lauren shared she is an outstanding 5 foot tall, but she is a packed powerhouse. Like, this girl can move. She is fast. She is strong. Yeah, I know you're going to bring it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm so excited. It's given me like goosebumps.
I won't let you down.
Oh no, I know. I can't wait to see it in action. It might even prompt me to do it. That's so cool.
Yeah.
What has surprised you most in your training, Lauren?
Um, I would s- I would say, and this is something I knew going into it, but how strength training, the way that HYROX is strength training, makes you think, do I do cardio at all? Like, I'm like, dang, I could do 70.3 miles. And I'm like, I mean, obviously it's not easy, and then I'm like rowing, 200 meters at a clip and maybe supersetting with something. And I'm like, whew, I was like, and Veron's one of my friends, one of my athletes also, and we work out together. And we're both like, I'm like, geez, like, I'm doing the ski erg and then doing walking lunges, and I'm just, hunched over trying to catch my breath and thinking, I don't get it. I could do like Maeve shuttles and sprint at like, like a 6 something pace, and then I'm like recovering and fine. So it's our bodies are built to handle different demands cardiovascularly. And so when you're demanding different things from your muscles and different things from your cardiorespiratory system, it doesn't always have a direct transfer. So I think that for me was like, when you assume because you train a high volume of cardio that most cardio things are easy. And
They're not.
yeah.
Yeah, it's anaerobic too with the strength component. So
Yeah.
you are really, when I say riding a line, like that is it right there. You're just
Yeah.
hoping and praying that you can maintain it and manage that fatigue as much as possible before you hit the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think, like, considering that, right, when you think about going from anaerobic to aerobic and switching over, that's where even the pacing, not going out too hot, even though 1K is 1K, a long run comparatively to what we might do in training. No, a 1K is a fraction of the run that you might normally do, but you might want to go out the first, like, even 200 meters and just jog and then pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, because you have to be able to shift. And so I think that's going to be something that might be a new takeaway after the race.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the recap of how this went and how you managed that switch back and forth. What has been harder than expected?
I am going to say probably recovery and fueling for me. So I think I've always done strength training and endurance, but sometimes with my strength training, I'm going a little bit slower. I'm doing more stability, core work, and yes, I'll always have like squats, deadlifts, and some of my foundational movements. But I I say this a lot: you can't out train a bad diet. Not that my diet is bad. My diet is sometimes I probably under fuel, because for me, when I'm strength training, I don't necessarily think, oh, let me like have carbs while I'm doing this. It feels like a short workout. When I'm in my triathlon mindset, I'm like electrolytes, gels, carbs before, carbs after. And there have definitely been times that I'm like strength training and then jumping into a session maybe with a client, and I'm like, I'll have a shake after. And it's that cumulative fatigue, and it will catch up with you. And I think for somebody who's balancing triathlon training and HYROX, it's not just 30 minutes of going through the motions to make sure you're not losing strength during your in season, right? So it's still high demand strength training with triathlon. So while all of the disciplines were like, okay, like wall balls definitely gas the hell out of you, and they are the last thing. So I'm sure the wall balls are going to humble me real quick. But if I'm looking at it from my training perspective going into this, my nutrition was probably something that I could have, or I always need to, we need to eat more. That's like the common problem for most endurance athletes is that we do not eat enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you bring up an excellent point with the importance of that recovery shake, that recovery meal, and what that can do when you put it off, right?
Mm-hmm.
It might not affect you right here, right now, but when it comes to tomorrow's workout or and that's a repeated cycle, that
Mm-hmm.
compounding fatigue is what unfortunately does us in.
It's very real.
Very real. Lauren, which station are you most confident about?
The 1K run.
Thankfully, you have 8 of those.
Yeah, I know. Like the 1K run is probably my most confident where I'm like, okay, we're home here. This is what we know. But
Yes.
I think out of all of them, I mean, I'm least nervous about probably the farmer's carry and the broad jump burpees. Those I think will go by pretty quick. But I think if I'm looking at, like I'm kind of looking forward to the sled push and just seeing how that feels. But farmer carry, again, because my grip strength, I feel like is kind of in a good spot. And broad jump burpees, I don't know. Those are just fun to me. I don't know. You're just like jumping and landing on the floor, jumping up. I'm sure many people, but I don't know. And I might hate them after Sunday, but I think that those are probably my two like easy-ish ones.
Yeah, I was curious to hear if the burpees would come in because I could see you just exploding through those.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so funny because whenever I teach and I have burpees and everything I'm like, why are burpees like, and I know people hate burpees. I'm like, it's just jumping up and down.
Because you're so low to the ground, girl.
I know. And that was another thing that I was like through my videos and they were like, it's not about how high, it's just jumping far. And I'm like, I could definitely jump further than high. So for me, I'm just going to poof.
Yeah.
And I really, I can
love
just
that.
like land and be on my stomach in 2 seconds.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Yeah. So
Oh,
bang
all
those
right.
out.
What station's keeping you up at night?
For me, mm, I hope the sled pull doesn't do me in. I think the sled pull is just going to be making sure my form is okay and I'm not just relying on my upper body strength because I tend to do that.
Mm.
And I know I need to use my lower body. So that's something like I've done rock climbing or like bouldering. And
Mhm.
even when I would do that, the person I was with was like, you need to use your lower body. You're just trying to do pull ups. And I'm like, I know, I just feel better doing that. So I think I need to be careful on the sled pull and remember it's not just an upper body movement, it's my lower body. And then walking lunges, this is more of like my right knee's been so funky lately that bending
Mm.
my right knee is not really comfortable. So getting my right knee to the ground is stressing me out a little bit because my main thing going into this, and I just spoke with Coach K, with my coach, about it. And I said, my main thing is that I want to have fun and I don't want this to be something that hinders my training for Lake Placid. And so the real stress is that I have issues on the walking lunges because my right knee getting to the ground is going to aggravate my knee.
Lauren, do you wear knee sleeves for those? What are you thinking?
I don't. I was talking to my physical therapist and he's like, he doesn't really think that that will help the issue with my knee because it's not that there's like a tracking thing. It literally
Okay.
feels like there's a rubber band under my knee that's going to snap.
Oh, okay.
So it's
Okay.
not like, it's not that my knee feels like it's out of track. It's just, it's hard to bend it.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. It's hard to bend it when my hip is in extension. So like right now, if I'm sitting and my hip is flexed, so that's why when my right knee is behind me and the right knee has to touch the ground and I'm in
Yeah.
more hip extension, that's where it gets aggravated. So, but if it, that's where my 6 foot tall partner is going to step up and take over those
Yes.
walking lunges. So that's the benefit of working with a team. We're going to just, we're going to help each other out where we
Complement
need
each
to.
other. Yep.
Mhm. Yeah.
So with the lunges, your knee has to touch the ground for it to count.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And you'll either get a time penalty or I don't know if they'll make you redo it, but I hear that the judges there are like, Anya.
Yeah, I believe it. I've some of the footage I've seen, because it is such a packed event, like they have judges everywhere, and it I can understand why there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
So I can understand why they would have that presence.
Yeah.
All right, Lauren, my last question for you. What are your race day goals?
So it's a good question. I was trying to figure out like times, and because I still always want to have a time goal. I don't really necessarily have any idea like what would get us placing, but I think an hour, 10 minutes would be like a very competitive time for us to finish in. My friend who just raced said that the New York course was a lot harder. So I guess there are some technical things that come into play with the 1K run and where like the in and out is for stations. So I would say anywhere between an hour 10, an hour 20. I know that's a big ballpark, but since neither of
Yeah,
us have
first
ever
time.
done it, we're both
Yeah.
newbies. I would like to do it without penalties and without being like, those are obviously newbies. They have no idea what they're doing. They're getting lost in an indoor race. I don't want to get lost in an indoor race. And I really just want to have fun. I said it from the start, even for 2026, is that I've had a lot of seasons of putting pressure on myself of like, I want a podium, I want to qualify for worlds, and this year I'm like, I just want to make memories. I want to like be in the moment and just have fun. And if something doesn't feel comfortable, it's my choice to just say like, not right now. So I want to laugh a lot. I want to have some really fun pictures of us in our cute little outfit.
Yes.
Our zoot, we have our matching zoot, like those like longer sports bras and shorts. So if I'm looking at a time perspective, hour 10, hour 20, hey, listen, if we can podium, because I told you, my friend's like, F this, we're world champions. Because we both raced in Marbella together. So if we can podium and be two newbie triathletes podiuming there, like that would just be like, you can't help it. There's always going to be a piece of me that wants to.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah. Fuel that fire, baby.
Yeah. But for me, it really is all about like, let's just have freaking fun. Let's just be, let's just do what we do. We're both competitive in the triathlon world, and let's shut people up who say triathletes don't belong in HYROX.
I love it. I love the mixture of fun and feisty. I think you ladies are really going to bring it and also super inspire. So I can't wait to hear how it goes. I can't wait to see the photos and your race recap.
Yeah.
Lauren, before we close out for the night, it's time for everyone's favorite completely unscientific test of athletic judgment. Yes, that is our fun segment. I am calling this, in honor of you, HYROX or hell nah. So I'm going to describe a situation, and your job is simple. You're going to tell us whether that's HYROX, meaning totally normal behavior in this sport, or hell nah, meaning absolutely not. Who thought this was a good idea?
Let's see.
Let's go. All right. Running 1 kilometer just so you can immediately push a sled that weighs more than your first car. HYROX or hell nah?
I mean, that's HYROX.
Yeah, baby. That is normal operating procedure up in here. Yes. Yeah. Paying money to do 100 wall balls after you've already been exercising for over an hour. HYROX or hell nah?
I mean, it's HYROX, but I want to say hell nah.
Yeah, when we were talking about the one that keeps you up at night, the wall balls, that would keep me up. That is the one that I think I would, lose my lunch.
That's gonna be tough. Yeah.
Calling burpee broad jumps a good opportunity to recover.
I mean, I might think it's a good opportunity to recover, but I feel like most people under the sun are like, hell no. And I don't think HYROX was thinking it either.
All right, practicing lunges in your garage while your neighbors quietly question your life choices. HYROX. HYROX or hell nah?
It should be called HYROX.
HYROX, yes.
I'll say I'm going to say it's a hell nah.
Okay.
We'll go with
like it.
Yeah.
Finishing a workout and thinking, you know what this needs? More sleds.
HYROX.
Having stronger opinions about grip strength and world events. HYROX or hell nah?
I'm going to say HYROX because I'm all for that right now.
Yes, girl. I was like, that's definitely HYROX. Yes.
Yeah.
Hell yes. All right. Looking at a race course and saying, only 8 runs? That's not bad.
Hell no. That's
16 transitions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another reason why I also was like so done with even duathlons, because I was like, I don't want to run twice.
Yeah.
Well, no.
Goodness. Hell nah. Spending 20 minutes discussing wall ball strategy.
HYROX.
That's HYROX for sure. You and Kathy are going to be doing just that this weekend. My God.
I know. I just did like a push-up competition and I was like, that was really dumb. My chest is so sore.
Oh, yeah. Your form was beautiful, though, I got to say.
Oh, thank you. But I was like, what a dumb idea. All good.
All right. Number 9, signing up for another HYROX before your legs have forgiven you for the last one.
That's probably very HYROX in the HYROX community. That's probably saying I'm never going to do an Ironman and then signing up for another one like the next day. Like you had like one beer as a celebration and you're probably like super tipsy. Like, this is a great idea. I'm just going to sign up for another.
Yeah, it just takes 24 hours, baby, and you're back on. Yeah, it's crazy how that works. Crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Last one. Referring to a workout as fun, even though you saw your soul leave your body halfway through it. HYROX or hell nah?
I'm going to say hell nah, but I have to share. There was a reel I ended up sending to Kathy because I sent it to her and I was like, LOL. And then I actually watched it and I was like, oh, wait, I don't think this was an LOL reel because it started with her being like, it was almost like it seemed funny to me because she was like talking about like what you expect when you're going to HYROX. And it was like basically like your soul leaving your body. And then it switched to her a picture of her, like a video of like her in the hospital because like she ended up, and I was like, I sent her and then I like rewatched it and I was like, oh, wait, I don't think that was supposed to be funny.
Quite literally. Oh my gosh. Well, Lauren, congratulations. Based on your answers, you've officially demonstrated the exact level of questionable decision-making required to be successful in HYROX, including laughing when your soul leaves your body. And honestly, that's what makes HYROX so special. On paper, it sounds ridiculous. In practice, it's incredibly challenging, and somewhere between the sled pushes, the wall balls, the moments where you're questioning every life decision that brought you there, you discover you're capable of a lot more than you thought, which sounds suspiciously like endurance sports. So, Lauren, thank you for playing HYROX or hell nah.
Always. I love the fun segment. So thank you for always making me laugh until my cheeks hurt. It's like my favorite part. And give a little shout out to our sponsor, who I will definitely be bringing along with me on Sunday, right before or maybe about 30 minutes before my start time, Vespa. So Get Gritty sponsor Vespa Power. If you are not familiar with it, definitely check it out. Vespa Power Endurance helps you tap into steady, clean energy so you stay strong, focused, and in the zone longer. Vespa is not fuel, but a metabolic catalyst that shifts your body to use more fat and less glycogen as your fuel source. It comes in CV25, junior, and concentrate, giving you less sugar, higher performance, faster recovery, which we all know is extremely important. Home of Vespa Power products. So you can use our discount code G2G Vespa 15. There will also be a link in the show notes that you can click on and automatically get that 15% discount on your order.
Thanks for spending time with us today on the Grit2Greatness Endurance Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow us and leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts and YouTube. It helps us reach more athletes like you. Stay gritty, train smart, and keep chasing greatness. We will see you next week.